Imagine a scenario in armed conflict where one side tries to cut off access to a certain area, perhaps by sea. It sounds straightforward, right? But in the complex world of international humanitarian law, such an action is far from simple and comes with very strict rules. Under international law, specifically international humanitarian law, a naval blockade is permitted only if it adheres to several stringent conditions. These conditions are designed to balance military necessity with humanitarian considerations, primarily protecting civilians from undue suffering. The core reason behind these strict rules lies in the fundamental principles of international humanitarian law: distinction, proportionality, and humanity. A blockade must be formally declared and publicized, giving neutral states and vessels sufficient time to adjust their routes. This ensures transparency and avoids surprise. Furthermore, to be lawful, a blockade must be effective, meaning the blockading force must be capable of enforcing it with real risk to those attempting to pass. A purely nominal or paper blockade is not permissible. Crucially, a lawful blockade must also allow for the passage of impartial humanitarian relief for the civilian population, provided the relief is not diverted for military purposes. This is a critical safeguard against starvation and preventable disease. The impact on the civilian population must always be proportionate to the concrete and direct military advantage anticipated. This means that widespread starvation or an attack on civilian survival is strictly prohibited. The blockading force must continuously assess and adapt its operations to ensure ongoing compliance with these principles, recognizing that circumstances can change rapidly during a conflict. For any state considering or implementing a blockade, understanding these conditions is paramount. It means establishing clear lines of communication, ensuring robust enforcement capabilities, and, critically, having mechanisms in place to facilitate and verify humanitarian aid. This proactive approach helps uphold the integrity of international law. A key concept here is continuous operation. This means that the blockading power isn't just permitted to set up the blockade once and forget about it. They have an ongoing obligation to ensure that the blockade remains lawful, considering new information, civilian needs, and potential changes in military necessity. It's a dynamic responsibility, not a static permission. Adhering to these carefully defined legal parameters for blockades is not merely a formality. It is essential for minimizing civilian harm, upholding humanitarian principles even in the midst of conflict, and ultimately preserving human dignity when military actions seek to isolate an opponent.